I'm back with my next Sunday story, and today, as you must have read the caption, it is a story by Ruskin and the story's name is The Boy Who Broke the Bank. A humorous story I'm sure you are going to enjoy, and also you will see the consequences of how a news becomes a rumor and how rumor spreads like a wildfire, and then what happens. So the story starts with the entry of Nathu, a sweeper boy. Now this sweeper boy is sweeping the stairs of the bank, and he's very, very angry. He's grumbling and he's murmuring, grumbling, and in great stress and tension and a lot of anger he has in him. He is sweeping the floor when his friend, who is a boy who irons and washes and irons clothes, he's a washerman, he comes there, and his name is Sitaram. So Sitaram sees that the friend is very aggressive, very angry, and and grumbling a lot, and so he stops and says, "What is the matter? Why are you grumbling so much? Why are you so very angry?" So Nathu shares, with his friend that, these bank people, these bank authorities are so bad that they are not paying me regularly. I'm so fed up. I do such a lot of cleaning, such a lot of work, and I'm not paid regularly. So Sitaram says, "I can understand. I'll try to, you should change your job and try to find some other job." So he said, "All right, see, you go from house to house. So see if you can get a job for me, and I'm definitely going to leave this place." So now Sitaram moves from house to house. He has to deliver clothes and take the fresh ones for washing and all that. So on his daily course, he reaches Mrs. Prakash's house. He and Mrs. Prakash is herself, in need of a boy, a cleaner. So she, talks to Sitaram and says, "See, if you know any cleaner, just let me know, because my cleaner is going to the village and I need a new one." So now Sitaram says, "Oh, I'm so lucky that today only you have asked, and I have a friend named Nathu, and he works for the bank employees. He cleans the bank and the outside area, and he is in need of a job." So she said, "All right, but if he works in the bank, why does he need a new one? He must be getting paid well over there. Maybe I will not be able to pay that much." So he says, "No, that bank is really very bad. The bank is not paying its employees." So now just see, the actual thing was that the bank people were not paying him regularly. But what Sitaram delivered the news was that the bank was not paying its bank employees. Mrs. Parasha says, "All right, this is really very bad. So tell your friend to come and talk to me, whenever he can. In fact, he can start from the next day onwards, or if he wants, from the beginning of the month." So Sitaram says, "All right, I'm so happy for my friend, and while going back, I'll tell him." So now Mrs. Prakash, ladies are very fond of, talking and gossiping. She was a talkative lady, and so she, looks out, and there, just beneath the banyan tree, her friend was sitting, Mrs. Bhushan. So she, quickly completes her work and locks the door, and she goes and sits with her. Previously you had a lot of time, and they used to sit under trees and talk and gossip and all that. So now Mrs. Prakash comes to Mrs. Bhushan and tells, "You know what? These Govind Ram bank is very bad. It is not able to pay its employees because the bank doesn't have money. It is not a good bank, probably." So Mrs. Bhushan says, "Oh, really? I think my husband might have an account in that. I'm sorry, you sit here. I'll have to go and talk to my husband. He's sitting in the barber's shop." So she quickly goes, the house is near, this banyan tree is near the market area. She quickly goes to the barber shop. She knocks the door and says, Faiz Hussain, is my husband there? I want to speak to him. So the husband says, oh, I'm getting my shave done. Tell me what it is. What is it? So she says, do you have an account in this bank, which is there in the locality, Seth Govindram's bank? So before he could answer, Faiz Hussain, the barber, he speaks up. Why? What happened, auntie? Says, oh, that bank is going to collapse. Said, really? Now just see the news, how it is spreading. The bank doesn't have money. Before that it was, the bank is not paying its employees. And the actual thing was that Nattu complained that he was not being paid regularly. So he says that Faiz Hussain, as soon as Faiz Hussain listens to this, that the bank was going to collapse, he was shaving, the knife, he hears this news and his hand shakes, and there's a cut just near Mr. Bhushan's ear. And Mr. Bhushan also hears, and he is not bothered about the hurt that he has been wounded. He quickly leaves and he says, see, shave later on, I'll have to go and talk to my friend Jugal Kishore because he has an account over there. Now Faiz Hussain was himself in such a lot of shock, because maybe he also had an account, but he had cut the wound, he had made a wound, there, and Mr. Bhushan was not at all bothered. With half-shaven face, he runs to Jugal Kishore's shop. Jugal Kishore's shop is an electrical shop, and he enters and he says, oh, listen, do you have an account in Seth Govindram's bank? I have heard the bank has become bankrupt. Bank is going to collapse, bank has no money, bank is not paying the employees, and now the bank has gone bankrupt. So Jugal Kishore says, really? Then I know that Seth Govindram, why, what happened? And so now, he quickly picks up his phone and he dials the number, and he calls Seth Govindram's residence. Seth Govindram's servant picks up and he says that Seth Govindram was there in Kashmir. So Jugal Kishore, starts overthinking and says, oh God, he is spending his time there. Already everybody is talking about his extravagant ways of living, and he spends a lot of money, blows a lot of money on, going here and there and spending on friends and all. So it's quite possible that he has, taken out all the money, spent all the money, and now he is spending his holidays, vacationing, and he is having a vacation in Kashmir. What to do? So there were other people in the electrical shop. They also heard, and as this type of rumor spreads just like wildfire, the whole area where this bank was, everybody comes to know about the bankruptcy of the bank and that it was going to collapse. The pan seller came to know. The cobbler came to know. The vendors, the vegetable vendor and the other vendors, the grocer, everybody came to know. The people who used to stay, the townspeople of that area, they came to know, and they started hurrying to the bank so that they could withdraw all the money they had. There was a long queue in front of the bank. The bank manager was surprised. What is the matter? Why is everybody withdrawing the money? He just didn't know what to do, and by half day, it was just 12 noon when the money in the bank had exhausted. Banks don't have the whole amount of money that the people have saved in that, deposited in that. If you need a large amount, the bank has to arrange money for you. Alright, so you need at least 24 hours for that. Now everybody standing in the queue and withdrawing their whole bank account, closing their account. So the bank manager also was surprised. He didn't know what to do. He was trying to talk to people, but nobody was, there was such a lot of chaos. people were so stressed, they were so anxious. Nobody was, ready to answer him. In fact, they were all abusing him, abusing the bank, abusing Seth Govind Ram, and they were, crying, and they were shouting. They didn't know, it was all the overreaction of just the rumor, how it had spread from one ear to other, and how it had increased the intensity. You won't believe, the beggars were also standing and shouting. The beggars who did not have an account in this bank, the vegetable sellers, the pan masala sellers who did not have an account, there were few mischief makers who just found fun going on over here, and just for fun's sake they were there, and they were also protesting, and just like it was a big procession and a protesting procession. There were half the people present in that crowd who did not have an account in the bank. But because they found it was something, a lot of media people arrived over there, and newspaper reporters were there, and there was a lot of gossip going on here and there, and it was for them, these mischief makers, it was a place where they could have a lot of fun, and where they could pickpocket money, where they could, try their luck. At the last, these mischief makers, there was one of them who picked up a stone and threw at the bank glass door. The manager, who had come to talk outside and tell people that there was nothing wrong, why was everybody withdrawing the money, he ran in because people started peltering stones on the glass door of the bank. They broke the glass, they threw stones, they threw eggs, they took the tomatoes from the vegetable vendors, they threw that. There was such a lot of chaos in that whole area that the bank manager had to pull down the shutters and close the bank for that time. Whole day this took place. Early in the morning, Nathu came back for sweeping. He was a sweeper. He had to come early morning, clean the whole bank, clean the whole outside area. His duty was only cleaning in the morning. Nathu came. And the humorous part of the story is that Nathu did not know what his one statement had done, what were the consequences of his statement, how his statement changed into what. He had told that he was not being paid regularly, and people had thought that the bank had gone bankrupt. They broke the glass of the bank. In fact, the whole bank account had become empty. Everybody had withdrawn money. And in such cases, people, they fear, again, relying on that bank and depositing money. People fear because that is their hard-earned money. They need a secure place. Just imagine, Nathu came, Nathu saw glass, stones, eggs and tomatoes, such a lot of mess. Again, he started grumbling that because he was not being paid regularly, he had to clean such a lot of mess. He started grumbling and grumbling and grumbling. Sitaram came. Sitaram offered him the new job. Sitaram also saw the condition of the bank. They both kept asking who broke the bank. They didn't know that the ignition point was Nathu and then Sitaram. How did you like the story? Wasn't it interesting how rumor spreads? What consequences can take place? How rumor spreads like a wildfire. Whose fault was it? Nathu's? Sitaram's? Human nature? Do let me know in the comment section. Do like, share, subscribe. The progress of the channel is going a little slow. I was also very busy with CBSE checking, but we'll come back. I wanted to inform each one of you that in these summer holidays, from next week onwards, we'll start with live sessions of all grammar topics. We'll start from the beginning and we'll do all topics in live sessions so that it gives you a good revision. Whichever class you are, join. Grammar topics are always going to help us. We'll do all the different types of letters also. We'll do letters, informal, formal, all. And we'll also do email writing, because generally email writings are also, have become very popular now, because when this COVID pandemic came, people started working online and we all had to compose mails. So we should know that also. Why follow a particular curriculum? Let us do a little out of the box also. Do join for all the live sessions. We'll keep updating. See you. Bye. Take care.